Thank you very much once again. Let me welcome you back to this one aristocratic channel of ours. And then please bear in mind, this is very important work pertaining the final examination, pertaining the work that we have conducted again in the term 3 and pertaining the final examination. So today we are going to look into anticipation in geography grade 10 under this module, which is an intensive revision. Please bear in mind that if you can watch this, you've got a good chance of scoring the good marks. So that is population movements. And then under this section, we are going to look, why do people migrate? Why do people move from certain areas to other certain areas? One of the key elements that you can use, it is why people are moving from the urban from the rural areas to the urban areas, and what implication does to those common people. And then if ever we are moving on in 4.1, what kinds of population movements are there? So in the examination, you will be asked to say, list the kinds of population movements. And then they can be, the migration can be classified into 3 categories. So we want to know these 3 categories. Then number 1, as I've written here, we've got immigration is the movement of people. It's saying inside. And then we've got number 2, we've got the emi. So the word it is to exit. So this is emigration, is the movement of people out of the country. When we are moving from South Africa to USA, and then that is an emigration. And then we are saying we've got the international migration, and we are saying this concept is controlled by governments. They may encourage or discourage migration in their country. Illegal migrants will be returned to the country of origin. They will be deported back. So we are saying that if you know that you are in a country and you have came there unlawfully, so chances are when you are caught, you'll be deported and you'll be moved directly into the country. And then let us take into anticipation that we are having the key concept that we must learn when we are saying internal, something happens internally, it happens when on the same country. And permanent, the word permanent, it is to stay for good in that particular country. And voluntary, that is your own choice. When you are working for free, maybe gaining experiences, we are saying that is voluntarily work. There's no remuneration, that it is expected. And then number 4, we've got international. So that is between countries. The word international, we are saying that it is between countries. And then temporary, return home later. So you are temporary, you can return a home. And then we've got forced. When you are forced, and then one of the key questions that can be asked in the examination, it is 4.2. Give reasons why do people migrate. So under this, you can be asked to say tabulate. If they say tabulate, it means you must draw the table between the forced migration, which are the push factors. When the forced migration occurs, it means there is no choice. It can be by government entities making legislation that are harsh into the country. We can look at Zimbabwe as one of the epicenter of the topic. We are saying that there was a down inflation in terms of affordability. And then we've got voluntary, and we have said that the word voluntary means that the migration, it is happening, it is the pull factor why people are going, they want to achieve at the end of the day. So we are saying you differentiate between these 2 factors. And the forced migration, it is because of the wars and conflicts. Number 2, bad. Number 3, unsafe condition because of crime. Number 4, natural disasters, earthquake, volcanoes, hurricane, volcanic eruption. And the other one, it is shortages of food. And then when people or citizens are experiencing these factors, they will be pushed out of the external factors that they migration will take off. The better, and we see that there's a better opportunities to be with friends and families. And then if we are looking on, because of the better social opportunities where they can interact, and because of the better educational opportunities which other countries or other regions in the country they don't specialize in, and then that it can be for 10 months. All right, we are moving 4.2.1. The question can arise there. to say list factors which may cause people to migrate. And migrate, it is the movement, why people are moving. Number one, it is because of the social factors. What are those? These are the desirement, improved living conditions, improved services. Number two, political factors. People move because a push factor, and this is happening in the regions of the country whereby political based on the stipulations of the country. Let us make an example. If ever doing a progressive tax, whereby now we are saying that every individual is supposed to pay in the country. So that legislation, it will be unfair to people who are not working, and it is going to favor those that are aristocratic class. And then let us talk about the economic factor. Better a job from the business or the industry. The religious factor, persecuted because of their religion. They move where they can practice their religious belief with peace. So this religion, it is the most important factor. Take what is right onto the religion. Don't be suppressive on others' religions. And then the last one, talk of the physical factor, and people move to avoid the physical dangers, a harsh climate, or the infertile soil. When we are moving on again, we can see that here we are talking about now these factors and where exactly do they dominate, where are they practiced in terms of the region. So we can see that in the good condition, it is expected in the Northern America where there is USA. We are saying this, they've gotten affordability. Therefore, they are the role model onto the entire world. And then number two, we talk of the economic factors, the higher wage, because of they do what they've got the job, they've got higher wages. So it means they can afford whatever that they need, the cars that they drive. You can see it from the movies, the car that they drive, they are aristocrats. They also play a vital role. Let us go to number three now. We talk of the political factor, the discrepancies in the Northern Asia, whereby people are free from practicing each and every factor that they want, each political factors that they want. And then we talk about the armed conflict, the fear of death. Here, this is the region whereby the fights are taking place all the time. And then number five, we are talking of the physical environment factors, the severe climate. So we are saying under this, we are also experiencing the tropical cyclone occurring because of the what? Of the physical environmental climate that keeps on changing. And then this is practiced there in France where people, they are, when we are moving on again, in 4.3, what is rural urban migration? So we are asked to say, what is the rural to urban migration? It means now, rural urban migration is the movement from rural to urban areas. When people are moving from the rural areas to urban areas, this process is called the urbanization. Today's urbanization is happening mainly in the less economic developed countries. Why? Because of people are moving from where there's dense people to where there's the lowest people in terms of want to achieve goals there. Approximately about 43% of South Africans people live in rural areas. In Gauteng, it is known as the economic hub of Africa. So it means all the what, and then more people live in urban areas. This trend is followed by Western Cape. So we can see that the amount of people in terms of the dense number, they are living in Gauteng and in Western Cape. Why? Because of that is an economic hub. When we are studying this, we can see that whereby we are experiencing the rural depopulation and the urban depopulation. So you can see according to the keys, rural depopulation, this is the key for rural depopulation, that is the dark one. So you can see that in Limpopo, the rural population, it is happening higher compared to the urban population. This is the urban population compared to what? To the urban population. Also in the Northwest, there is rural population more compared to the urban population. In Free State, there is now less rural population and more urban population. In Eastern Cape, we can say that is 50-50, but the trend it is Western Cape, whereby there's what? The urban population, whereby people, they visit this Cape. There's about a margin of numbers of people that are coming to the urban areas. In Mpumalanga, you can see in KZN, and then in Gauteng, you can see that is the highest number in terms of people in millions that they are moving where? To the urban areas, right? And then when we are moving on again, we can see that we are having one important idea whereby we are talking about the cycle of poverty. So bear in mind that this needs to be broken, and it can be first broken by you and your family, by showing that you are passing, also finishing your studies to break the poverty cycle. So you can be asked to construct the poverty cycle or to list factors pertaining to the poverty cycle. What happens is that what is happening that it is the father now is working, he's having the family of 5 people, he's working, and where he's working is supporting now the kids at home. And then you can see that the lack of finance that he gets, it can go there. There's what a lack of finance that he has at the end of the day. And therefore, there will be a low food intake because of now these families cannot afford what? They cannot afford proper nutrition. Therefore, this will lead to bad health because of they don't have proper nutrition. This will cause them to get sick often and often. Therefore, there is a low job productivity because of now the person is getting sick and sick every time. At the end of the day, there will be a low earnings because of this what? There's an absenteeism in work for days and days, and that is for 10 months. Let us break the chain of the poverty cycle. All right. And then let us see what is happening here. Number one, many people in poorer rural areas, young economically active people leave the rural areas, living dependents and aged young behind. The dependents, they wait for money. They start to lose hope because of now when these people, these parents, they are get. So let us not make children good people. This is when there's a loss of hope and the courage. These children, they try new ideas. You find them still, and then you find that there's a continuous teenage pregnancy that is happening with the low income rates that can also happen, and the farms are neglected to do the hard work. The productivity drops and the unemployment it rises. The decreased productivity in the private sector affects the secondary and the tertiary sector, and the economy, it will decline in that rural. And the rural shops, schools, and certain services, they will close down. Lack of customers to make a profit. The following diagram. All right. And then you can see that let us ensure that we are running away from that poverty cycle by just ensuring that we are sticking on to our studies. We are doing what is expected of us. Right. So this is the diagram that we are talking about. So what is happening here? You see that for people are going to move where? From the rural areas here, from this point of reference, there will be a movement of the young people to urban areas to Gauteng. They are going to look for jobs. And in this process, they have left the young ones, they've left their wives at home. Don't be a perpetrator or don't be a victim of this. And what will happen? The rural depopulation is going to occur because of the numbers are going to decrease of people that are in the rural areas, and they are going to increase where? In the urban areas. The numbers are going to increase in the urban areas. That is correct. It's going to increase. Since that there would be unpleasant. The word unpleasant, you are not happy with the conditions, the working conditions, forcing people to leave the working areas. The mechanization causes the unemployment, low wages paid to the farm workers, the droughts lead to possible economic failure, rising farming costs coupled with low prices, the consolidation of the small farms. That is for 10 marks. And what it is going to happen is that the rural depopulation, here we are going to look at the what? At the favorable factors attracting people to cities. What is attracting these people that are from the rural population and they are going to the urban areas? And why are they here? So we are saying that they are being pushed. Why? Because of favorable working attract these people to the cities. Number one, they are offered better services, medical and education. Number two, better social cultural activities. Number three, they are better entertainment and their recreational facilities for entertainment. That is why you find that when they come from rural areas, they start to experience now the noise that is happening, and they forget. Let us not forget if we are coming from rural areas. Even myself, good people, I am in stake spread. That is where I derive from. So I know these things. And then let us understand that we talk about the consequences, the results. Now, what is going to happen where? On the rural areas. And what is going to happen where? On the urban. And so these are the factors responsible for rural depopulation. So we are saying that the rural areas, number one, there will be fewer workers on the farms that are working. Number two, which will cause businesses are forced to close down because of the fewer customers. Number three, there will be a further unemployment that is going to occur because of the customers now they are low. Number four, if ever the unemployment it starts now to rise, young people they flee or they leave, causing the aging population to remain in the country. When these young people are fleeing out of the country, what is going to happen? There will be a causing of the aging. So these people are not working so hard because of they are not strong anymore, and there are few children are born due to because of the low population growth, and the farms are abandoned. There is no one that is taking care. What is going to happen on the urban areas is that the city they will become more overcrowded because of now these people are going to move from urban to rural areas. Number two, we talk of the social problem they are going to play an effect. And then number three, formal settlement they are going to happen. Overcrowded city because of the municipality will be saying that there is not enough funds. You can see even if it's happening here, there will be an expected of an unhygienic conditions that are going to occur, which will lead to multiple of diseases and viruses. Thank you very much for your time. I hope you had a nice time. You can ask questions on our comment section. Good luck on your final examination. Thank you very much.